So started my own business, and I figured that no one else was going to fire me because I'm going to be the one doing the firing, and I'll fire myself before I let y'all fire me. So with that in mind, I went ahead and I did what I thought I could do in that moment. See, a lot of us in this room today, we go and we start making, but we don't stop to think about what we are planning this season. So by a show of hands, who have all heard of reaping what you sow? About everybody. If you haven't, I'm glad you're here. Who has experienced a season of harvest? Okay. If you haven't, that's okay, it's coming. And hopefully after today, it's going to come the correct way. See, I had my harvest in the year of 2017. That's the last time that I really remember one for myself. And it's not because of a bad reason or anything. It's actually a good reason. It was the year that I started my first business. It's also the year that I acquired my first corporate job, and I got fired from that job the same year. That's okay, I was 23. You know, you just never know. But something good came out of that. I began to recognize the seeds that I was holding in my hand. And because I got fired, I actually went and started my own business without any research. I didn't know what an LLC was. I didn't know what sole proprietorship was, but I know the cheapest one was sole proprietorship. And I just got fired. So guess what I chose? I was going to be a sole proprietor. And I had a camera in my hand, so I decided that what I was going to mark on the paper was to be a photographer. So started my own business, and I figured that no one else was going to fire me because I'm going to be the one doing the firing, and I'll fire myself before I let y'all fire me. So with that in mind, I went ahead and I did what I thought I could do in that moment. See, a lot of us in this room today, we go and we start making, but we don't stop to think about what we are planning this season. For example, 2017 started off with me with a good job, fired from the job, but then another year was to come. It was 2018, and that year really came up for me. My mom was best. 2018 was a really good year for me. I had already got my own car, which was a good car in 2017. It had my own name, but I acquired my first job that had so much money to give. That's the way I want to put it, just for the sake of it, all right? It gave me so much money that I was able to get my first apartment with my own people. And with that being said, at the age of 23, going on to 24, I had a lot going for myself. You know, you flip the hair a little bit when you have that going on, right? And then I felt so good about myself that I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and move to LA. I'm going to start acting as I did before, except this time I'm going to be on screen. I met Angela Bassett before her premiere on the red carpet. Why don't I meet her in person right next to her acting? And I did it. I was on my own. You probably didn't see me. I didn't see myself. Oh, gosh. But with that being said, I did all of the things that I wanted to do. And you guys are probably sitting in your chairs right now thinking, oh, yeah, it was. It was real expensive, too. It's LA. But yes, personally for me, it was dope. It was nice. It was fun. It was great seeds in my hand that I was able to sprinkle out wherever I want to sprinkle out. I went up there with my 2017 car. I was moving to LA. Then I came back home for the holidays. Yes, my mom remembers this too. I came back home for the holidays. It was the first time that I had been away from my family. So yes, I missed everyone. I missed my love interest that I had left behind. And later found out that I was 2 weeks pregnant for twins. Oh, okay. We're 3 years in this thing, guys. I'm a new mom. I went through some things. I was a full belly, but guess what? I was home for the holidays. So what does that mean? I only had my luggage and union voucher. Those union vouchers meant a lot to me. And if you don't know what a union voucher is, I'll give you a little bit of an insight. It's basically your ticket to make more money. That's all. That's all you're going to get. But I'm at home with my luggage and union vouchers. Nothing else to my name. I don't even have my car. That's where the next step off. And I'm pregnant. with twins. But you know what I did? As all women do, you get up and you do something about it, right? I'm pregnant with twins, so I didn't want to get another job that required me to do too much. I got a job that was 3 months long, and I lined another one up. Where do you do that? Thanks. I finished the first 3-month job as a photo editor. Circle back around to me, started my own business. I had experience, and it was great, right? But things start looking a little weird as I start going to my house. I started my next job, and the only place that I needed to was orientation before my next appointment. The doctor measures my legs. They're getting too big. He measures my blood pressure. It's getting too high. And for women with children in here, you probably know what that sounds like. I developed preeclampsia. Now, guys, I'm a very weak person, right? I don't even know what I was feeling. Say that one more time, because the doctor didn't really speak English very well. I was okay with the results that I received because I didn't know what it was. But I also didn't know that that was the last day that I would walk free without kids outside. I was admitted to the hospital up until they had my children. And I say they had my children come out because at that point, I was no longer in control. I didn't know what was going on. And it turned out that I would be in a hospital for almost 2 months until they got my children. And I had 3 different birth dates for my children. Had false alarms. And if you're home with children, you don't have to back in for 12 hours, 3 times. How's that? But with that being said, all of that time by myself in isolation really taught me something about myself. Not talking about the situation, because mind you, I still don't know pretty much. All I know is that I'm in here and it's for a reason. Please get me sneezed out. But I learned that when you have something within you, you need to pay attention to it. And with that being said, me not knowing when I would get out of the hospital, me not knowing if I would make it out of the hospital, because for those of you who don't know what preeclampsia is, it can be fatal for both of you and the children. That's 3 of us. And not to be a Debbie Downer, but I have to put in a perspective of, if I don't make it out of here, that's not one person, it's not 2, it's 3 of us. Do what you have to do. So then some things start to turn around for myself because I said, you know what? I'm not going back to LA with 2 kids. That's too expensive. So I must make my life here. I must make it work here. So I did. They rolled me out of the hospital. My mom was right there by my side. And the very next day started a new chapter for me. I think we all kind of fall into a mindset of when tragedy happens, that's it. We stop and we take a moment to panic. That panic doesn't last us always, but it's going to last you about 5 hours, maybe the next day, maybe a week. It's okay. Nobody's counting, right? I don't know. I wasn't. I couldn't. I didn't have time to. But between being allowed to feed my kids, between being allowed to feed myself, I started to get a little bit more push, a little bit more oomph than what I had going on. See, when I say reap what you sow, and when you say reap what you sow, right now I'm probably meaning 2 different things. But I'm going to shed a little bit of light on something that you guys have missed. Well, we've all missed before, and that's the soil. So we plant seeds, we gather those seeds, we have great ideas. But what are you planting your seeds in? Are you planting them in a desert climate? Are you planting them in soil? Have you ever rode to North Dallas and you see the soil look a little bit in South Dallas? Where are you planting your seeds? The soil is different. How are you watering your seeds? Pay attention to the soil. I began doing this as my sons grew, as I watched them every day, jobless. For 6 months, it's okay. The pandemic started in 6 months, so it'd be really okay. I didn't beat myself up, but I had a job to do, and that job must get done. So at 6 months, I decided to go and reverse back. After I thought about it, I went to that job that I never got a chance to start, and they welcomed me back with open arms. Then after that, I got another job, and then another job. Then I quit a job. But I was able to do those things because I was able to prioritize what I had to do. With the job, I found that with a little bit of research, I could start a new business. Versus before, I didn't do my research. Then I researched getting a car. This time, I got the car that I wanted in 2017, but I had a reason for it. You guys are probably wondering, okay, so where is your soil? You're talking about soil, but you should have soil. I'll tell you what happened. All of those great seeds that I had before were rooted in trauma. They were rooted in rejection. I started my new business, my sole proprietorship, out of the fact that I didn't want to be rejected anymore. I felt like I was not worthy, but I'm going to make myself feel worthy because, again, you're not firing me again. I'm going to fire myself. Without research, who would want to fire yourself? It was prideful. Those seeds were rooted in the wrong things. I moved to LA not because I went to an acting conservatory, not because I went there, but because I was running away from hard decisions that I had to make, and I wanted to start over. That seed was rooted in guilt. So everything that grew afterwards did not have a long life that I wanted it to have. And all of you are probably thinking like, gosh, that happened in SP. I know. It happened for me too. And it's going to keep happening. But what you're going to do is take those lemons that life gives you and a sugar honey iced tea and go home about your day with an arm farmer and keep it moving. That's what I had to do. And that's what I continue to do. And with the new seeds that I have in my hand, I make sure that I release the trauma, the guilt, the people pleasing, because the friends that I had made were not my day ones, twos, threes, four, five, and sixes. They were just my day ones, and they stayed there and they never came along. That's okay, because I had to shed what I needed to shed to make sure that my soil was healthy. I made sure that I got rid of the toxicity within myself. That's the negative self-talk. That's the self-talk that we develop from things that we've gone through, but we keep doing it as if it's normal. The jokes that you joke about with your friends, those aren't jokes. Those are extensions of the habits that you're creating that built on once you care. Now you think it's funny, you're the only one who's laughing. That's introspection. Let go of the negative self-talk. The bad jokes is not funny. Let go of the trauma. Let go of the people-pleasing. And build a life within yourself before you allow others to pour into you. Because who's to say they aren't paying attention to their soil either? Look within yourself. Release those things so that you have a hand for your basket, for your harvest, and a hand for your seeds. Plant and pick. Plant and pick. And as of today, it is up to you whether you have a box of flowers or a field of fruit. Walk away with your soil tended to, as I did for my babies that are now 3, as I did for myself that is now 28, and as I did for myself in honor of an LLC and not a sole proprietorship. Okay? Respectfully, I want you guys to go away knowing this, that you are powerful, you are amazing, you are worthy, and your soil is waiting on you to water it correctly. Because you all came in here today with some seeds and ideas that you may not know is ready to grow until you start the work. Do the work, do it correctly, and you will succeed.